Let's get right to it. We need to up our skill in dating, period. Today we're talking about a new technique to raise our game. If you can hear some of the stories I hear from women about men out in these dating streets, if you wonder why women listen to these guys talking to them about dating on social media, it's because you're coming to the game unprepared, bruh. It's like a catcher with no protection, a goalie with no mask. Let me tell you, if I hear one more dude taking and sending selfies, acting like he's a teenager, but I digress. Back to the lecture at hand. Mirroring is a technique used throughout psychology. As a coach, we use mirroring techniques with clients. Mirroring is done to build rapport and subconsciously have the person you're with become more connected to you. Salespeople sometimes use mirroring to build a relationship and ultimately acquire clients. We're not trying to get into her pockets like that. We just want her to recognize how amazing we are and how great it's going to be continue dating. You with it? You ready? All right, my man, let's get it. There was a study completed in 2010 that found that when someone mirrors your behavior, the areas of your brain that activate are the same ones that process rewards and make you feel good. Also, the study found our brains are hardwired to mirror others because cooperation leads to more food, better health, and economic growth for communities. We're built to mirror, so let's use it to our advantage. Eye contact. Mirroring someone looking at you is a great way to build rapport. You have to be careful with this one though when you're gazing into her eyes. If you're overdoing it, bruh, you're going to come off creepy. Creepy eye contact is a death sentence to relationships. If you don't make enough eye contact, you'll seem either not connected and tentative or not interested. There's a balance with eye contact. Don't scare her away, but show interest in her by looking into her eyes while you're talking and while she's speaking. You can mirror her head movement slightly, but again, don't overdo it. It takes some practice, but eye contact is a great way to build rapport and trust through mirroring. Vocal mirroring. I've met people who are incredible at vocal mirroring. Many of us say we don't like hearing our own voice, but when we become good at vocal mirroring, we can develop the other person's cadence, volume, and sometimes pick up on their choice of slang and or colloquialisms so well to the point the other person can sense their own voice in your conversation. Often, we'll do this unconsciously with people that we're close to. Consider vocal mirroring with a woman and see if she picks up on the vibe and she appreciates it. This would be a good time for me to say, I'm Jay Hurt. Welcome to my channel, The Confident Charismatic, where we talk about charisma, confidence, and winning at life. Now, let me explain sitting face to face. When you're in a restaurant, or better yet, an open space, sit with your torso pointed directly toward the other person. Try to sit with your belly button literally pointing at theirs. This also works if you're standing. If you ever people watch, notice that this doesn't occur too often in the wild. Most people don't do this. Sitting or standing with your belly button directly across from theirs means you are giving your undivided attention. This will most often cause the other person to mirror you. If they're interested in what you're saying or your conversation in general, they're showing that they're incredibly attentive at this moment. This says to them that they are important to you. Breathing. So if you want to take this deeper, consider mirroring your date's breathing. Again, don't try to catch up to her breathing and be creepy. Don't look at her chest, talking about you're looking at her lungs, trying to mimic her breathing. That's not going to work, partner. Simply and slowly inhale and exhale at the same pace as your woman. She's going to feel more relaxed and calm in your presence. Body posture. When we're in a room together, often one person has a sense of formality while the other may be more casual at the same time. One person may have anxiety, The other is ultra relaxed. Mirroring body posture is a way to align yourself with how they're feeling in that moment. If she leans back, you can slowly do the same. She'll feel more casual and she'll sense it in you. If she leans forward with her hands on the table and she sits with her back straight, you can do the same, again, slowly, don't make it weird. She may want to be serious for a moment, and your mirroring shows her that you get it. How do they punctuate? You don't hear about this much, but poker players look for this gesture. It could be a hand gesture, a facial expression, an eyebrow raise, rubbing the chin, any number of gestures. It's a gesture that says, we're finished, complete, we have a winning hand, or someone has a gauge of what they think about you. Some level of saying, this is what I'm saying, this is the point I'm trying to get across. For example, I have pocket aces. Of course, they don't want to say that, but sometimes their body will tell on them. That's why they call them tells. When you're doing this in a setting with a woman, mirror her punctuation gesture very subtly. Don't overdo it again. You're going to look out of your element. It won't fit you. But if you do it with less emphasis, in a subtle nature, she's going to take that as you understand her. If you learn to mirror with success, you can build rapport, trust, and maybe even get a kiss at the end of the date, all without saying a word. If you learn to mirror like a pro and you always put her needs ahead of yours, it won't take much for her to realize that charisma is for sure your superpower.